And the belief that you would be deluded by such a childish trick. And I am a recurrent I see into my own contradictions. I say, eliminate the middleman and let me pocket the money. I say, for me to or like you the Democratic Convention is to tax we know teaching I don't know. I think it's something foul. Well, lay me a scupper for a swab. If this here old saw over here ain't the world, that's not medical terms. What does that mean? A Weight Watchers frozen turkey dinner? Yeah. I wrestled with my conscience. And I won. 'Cause I cheated. And I don't care. Because I wrestled with my conscience. And I won. I stabbed him on the back of the neck with a blackjack weighted with 20 pounds of lead. And I don't care. Because I wrestle with my conscience. Always repeat everything 3 times. And I won! I cheated! And I don't care. I hate, loathe, fear, and despise your earth sports. Earth mutants, covered in filth and ordure, wrestling for dead animal skin. And now I'd like to explain why I love Elvis in 20 words or less. Why I love Elvis by The Wrong Hero. He's fat, he's dead, and he can't sing no more. And that's why I love Elvis. A wise man once said, God is in the details. The Wrong Hero said, get out, God, get out! An insidious rumor is being spread that fascists have short weenies. Lies! All lies! I am polite, afraid. I'm sorry, but I never apologize. Well, almost never. Everything I say is a complete contradiction of the truth, and it's all lies, including this statement. Let's talk about you for a minute. Who you are, what you're doing, where you're going, what you hope to accomplish. You look at things and say, why? I dream things that never were, and say, oh my head, I must be hallucinating! Because I'm the wrong hero, and I call for one chaos. I'm the wrong hero. There ain't no flies on me. Well, maybe one or two. I'm the wrong hero, and I suggest that you ignore the curtain behind the man. I saw a man with no shoes, and I was sad for him until I met a man with no feet. Then I decided that the man with no shoes was nothing but a shiftless, whining loafer. So I went back to the man with no shoes and I kicked him. And it felt good. And then I said, excuse me. Weapons have been outlawed from Antarctica. That is why I am involved in a lifetime quest to introduce them there. Because I want to drop pocket nukes on penguins. Just so they could fly just once before they go to that great estuary in the sky, I have nothing to offer but blood, sweat, toil, and tears, and I wouldn't blame you if you took your dinner and went and ate somewhere else. Al Gore sucked up to Frank Zappa. Bill Clinton, Bill is a pander bear. So this will be a great election. Panda bear and Vice President Zappa sucker. The election is being fought by a bunch of left-handed hillbillies. Yeah! Let's get the golden ring! Get out of my way now, Al! I'm not reaching for it now! Look out, President Bush! It's mine! And where are they holding the Democratic election convention? New York City! How appropriate! Where the scum of the earth go! New York City! And now it's the Democrats! It hardly means 3 days pause in the tire vote and stench and corruption, which is New York City! New York. But damn. Bush is shocked at Perot for hiring an investigator to look into his life and his son's life. Bush, the head of the CIA, shocked. Espionage? I've never heard of such a thing in all my born days. Not espionage. And Governor Cuomo, who is probably speaking even as I speak, Governor Cuomo with that sagging jaw and those big black googly eyes, Governor Troopy, Governor, excuse me, but I would like to write the Constitution on a piece of silly putty and use it to pick up the funny pages. Because I am indifferent to politics and would prefer to be ruled by evil men. And it looks like I'm getting my wish. My mother used to read to me. She used to say, the 3 little kittens have lost their mittens and don't know where to find them. And I used to say to her, kittens wearing mittens? Kittens wearing mittens? What kind of insane nightmare world is this who brought me into mother? Because you got the wealthy, whose ancestors sucked up the kings and were given land stolen from the church. And you have the poor, too lazy and stupid to holler suey if the cows were eating them. And the middle class, honest Joe Sucker. His head is a giant lollipop everywhere he goes. It's the Sears Auto Repairman. Hi, Sucker. I mean, Mr. Customer. Yes, I would teach history the wrong hero way, and geography the wrong hero way. China, noodles, fireworks, denim, tobacco, and what? Oh, opium! I forgot there for a minute, and I was lost in this amniotic. France, horrible crawlers and berets and stinky water and all sorts of repulsive stuff like they eat snails. The CIS, chronic food source shortages, defective nuclear reactors, and vodka. What a swinging tower! The UK, powdered wigs, oil food, 3-quartered hats, and people with bad teeth. Japan, raw fish, samurais, and lip syncing, karaoke. South America, Portuguese-speaking Nazis. Okay. And then you have the United States, baseball, cocaine, television, light beer, democracy, and pizza. And a man's White House. Not any of those sissy little funny-duddy lemonade Lucy type ladies' White Houses. No, it's a man's White House. We will crush you. Yes, master. Kind of White House. So now, before I go, history, the wrong hero way. This is entitled Backwards to 1492. And it's special, because you're special. I don't know what that word special means. Does it mean remedial reading? (1992). Bill Clinton sucks wind through a saxophone. 1991. Jet fighters suck smart bombs out of their rock. And all the Kurds get to go home. Because this is history backwards, the wrong hero way. The United States ships Noriega to Panama and installs him as a dictator. And processes pure cocaine back into coca leaves. And brings hundreds of Panamanians back to life. The Berlin Wall reassembles itself. The United States sucks mines out of Nicaragua's harbor. Yeah. Sucks troops out of Grenada. Buys weapons from Iran. John Hinckley sucks a bullet out of the left lung of President Reagan. B-52 sucks napalm out of Vietnam. Sirhan sucks a bullet out of RFK. Oswald sucks a bullet out of JFK. The United Nations sucks police action troops out of Korea. The Allies suck bombs out of Germany and Japan. In the 1930s, the United States wrecks roads and bridges, deprives millions of farmers of electricity. Bootleggers reduce bathtub gin to its non-intoxicating component parts. The Allies suck troops and tanks out of Germany, Austria, and Hungary. Teddy Roosevelt passes the filthy meat law, dismantles the nation's national parks. European immigrants disassemble railroads, hotels, churches, and put fur back on beavers and bring Indians back to life. Pioneers take slaves back to their homes in Africa, suck venereal disease out of barefoot savage aborigines, put the gold back where they found it, and sail backwards home the quickest way they can. That's history, the wrong hero way. Backwards to 1492, But now, you are beginning to annoy. I don't think I like your attitude. What do you intend to do? About it. Nothing. Very well. For you are beginning to annoy me. I am sitting down with Eric's lives, and I say, don't build schools, build your need. I say, and they don't do very good job of thinking of movie titles either. So it was like less than $50 an hour, but if you can afford $50 an hour,
Regular dominating dictatorial methods. In other words, it's a franchise. I tried to cash a check drawn on their bank at a Shaman bank.
Although, for the purposes of this presentation, we will refer to them as Shakmat Bank, which is Arabic for the king is dead. So I went into Shakmat Bank and I tried to cash a check and they said, you must have a driver's license and major credit card. And I said, if I had a major credit card, then I wouldn't have to cash this check.
Tell them about it.
I am the wrong hero. I am crafty and subtle, and I exert an uncanny, hypnotic influence on you. And I want you to forget I ever said that.
Bring it on home, man.
I stand in favor of building heartless shelters, where the heartless can hide from the homeless.
Hallelujah.
People who tell the truth are never popular. So let's kill them. All three of them. My tooth feels funny.
Which one?
My front tooth right here. So I'm going to let it tell a few jokes.
What's your favorite method of cleaning your teeth?
I have a little interclack brush which I put in between the yawning and cavernous spaces of my lower teeth.
Your act is getting stale.
Well, that's good because if it were fresh, it would stink to high heaven. You know my dress is torn?
Rape attempt?
I got into a pissing match with Zora. Oh, you missed it! Oh, look at that darling little hat you're wearing, Zora! Where do you buy your mustache wax? I simply must get some! Oh. And he went, swish, swish, swish. You know, Zorro gets drunk and he goes around carving swastikas on all the gravestones in the Jewish cemeteries. That's because, you know, he gets fucked up and he goes, I'm the wrong hero. My friends call me Tyrant, the all-powerful. And my enemies call me, hey, stop swinging that thing at my head. I am death, the destroyer of worlds. But you can call me Deathy for short. I wrote my life story. It's entitled, This is not my life story. Go on, big square, get out of here. Fetch the red hot bread and iron. Part 1. And part 2 is entitled, So you didn't listen to my advice. I am also the author of The Story of a Schizophrenic, Not. And the photo album entitled, You Took My Picture, Now Give It Back or I'll Kill You. With my hand in front of all the shots. I'm the wrong hero, and I'm not anal compulsive. I'm not. I'm sorry. There's a rumor that fascists have tiny weenies. Lies! All lies! Lies! All lies! All lies! I go to the bread and circus and they say paper or plastic, and I say, porn in my fucking hand! I hate this miserable life! People say the wrong hero is boring. Usually when I have run out of money. I put a catnip mouse in my baby's mouth because I run my house to suit my cat. And after Kitty has spent a long day sucking the breath out of the baby, he might come down with a snack attack. Hence the catnip mouse.
How about rock and roll?
I hate rock and roll. But you know what I hate more? Secretary Baker. You know what Secretary Baker's doing right this very instant? He's in the White House and he's going, George, you gotta do something. The calls are slipping. You're 23 points behind. If this was a basketball game, they turn off the set. Now what are you gonna do? Well, I don't know. What do you think I should do? Well, what would Ronald Reagan do? I don't have time to take a nap. I'm the wrong hero. I have a very important message. What babies are saying when they cry. Are you ready for this earth-shaking revelation?
Ready as on to be.
What babies are saying when they cry? Wow, stop! Look at our screaming bags! And what's the number one role model for very young toddlers? Baby Huey. Baby Huey, a 6-foot-tall retarded duck. Baby Huey. Well, someone said that I should tell about how I hate rock and roll, but in fact, I hate all earth music except sub pop. That's not music. I hate folk music. Lectures in 171. Every bit as oppressive as the injustices they're supposedly attempting to eradicate. Country and Western, a soap opera for drunks, as the world spins. Rap. Cross country and rap, and what do you got? Rap. Crap, thank you. Reggae. Ganja-addled terrorists who never share their ganja. And disco. Say no more. But most of all, I hate rock and roll, because if pop music is sex, rock and roll is love. No, I'm sorry. It's the other way around, isn't it? But it doesn't matter, because rock and roll is capitalism in 145. Consume, fornicate, die. And I hate all the great rock and roll stars. I hate Jerry Lewis. Goodness gracious, I hate Elvis. He strangled his own twin in the womb. He was swindled by a fat Dutchman. He was lobotomized by amphetamines in the army. And they worshipped him.
Did he really strangle Jesse?
He shook hands with President Nixon, which was just as bad. And I hate John Lennon. He kicked Stu Sutcliffe in the head, causing a brain tumor, which made Stu Sutcliffe die. If this is the way a man treats his friends, I hate to see what he does to his enemies. And they worshipped him. And Paul McCartney with those big black googly eyes, I just love to stick a pin in him and watch him pop. He married a hideous groupie from Sarah Lawrence. George Harrison. He stole my sweet Lord from the chiffons. Ringo Starr, he's okay. Bob Dylan. He's mean, he's lazy, and he taught the Beatles how to smoke marijuana. And those are his good qualities. The Rolling Stones. Keith Richards got confused and had his blood replaced with heroin. The Rolling Stones. They drowned Brian Jones. The only one in the group that had any talent at all, and they drowned him. But if he had hung on to Mick Jagger's lips, he could have floated to shore. Jim Morrison, a fat Navy brat who drank red wine and wrote bad poetry. He died in a bathtub of a drug overdose. That was the first bath that man ever took in his life. It wasn't the drugs, it was the shock of cleanliness that did him in. And the Beach Boys. How many Beach Boys are there? 4, 5, 6? They're so fat you can't even remember anymore. They call themselves the Beach Boys. They don't surf. They can't even swim if Dennis Wilson is any indication. And the Who. Pete Townsend wrote, let my love open the door.
Too bad he didn't think about that at Riverfront Coliseum in Cincinnati. He could have stuffed those kids up in his nose and just stayed there for safety. I'm going to invite him to my wedding. Maybe he'll crush my in-laws. I bought a copy of Who's Next for 25 cents and sold it to a stupid deadhead for $15. I call that a bargain.
All right.
The best I ever had. I'm going to retire on that. And David Bowie. He slept with Angela Bowie. He slept with Mick Jagger. He slept with Brian Eno. Who did this man sleep with? Margaret Thatcher? Hitler? Iggy Pop? Okay. Close enough. And Elton John. He can play the piano with his feet. And he's a multi-millionaire. I can play chopsticks on your head with my hobnail boots. How's come I'm not a millionaire? And 10,000 Maniacs. The Grateful Dead for college sophomores. And the Grateful Dead. What a place to take an LSD trip. At a Grateful Dead concert. Helicopters hovering overhead. Federal troopers with rifles trained on the back of your skull. Trucking down to New Orleans. Voices green and purple. I can't stand it. Someone get me out of this hell.
Francis, it's time for the bands. Your time is up.
Okay. Let me bring it home there, Mike. I'm talking to you now. Neil Diamond, Frank Sinatra and her burned out hippies, Johnny Thunders, Dean Martin with the vomit out in the open. The Cure. I gave my girlfriend The Cure for Christmas. And for my birthday, she gave me a disease. Losing my religion? Well, Peter Buck, if you come around here singing that nauseating song one more time, you'll lose your buck teeth. Peter. Don McLean has a hamburger named after him now. I guess he really has made it. John Denver, leaving on a jet plane. How's about a rocket ship? A one-way express to the sun. Fleetwood Mac, a soap opera for potheads. Billy Joel, Harry Chapin with the conscience leached out of him. You know, Ray Charles was in the hospital lately, and he lost his left leg. And when he came to from the anesthesia...
You're going to lose your volume here in a minute.
Okay, I'm bringing it home. Thank you. Ray Charles was in the hospital, and he lost his left leg. And when he came to from the anesthesia, the doctor said, "But, Mr. Charles, we have some good news for you." "Oh, what's that?" "You got the right one, baby, huh?" Okay, one last thing. My sister likes the Red Hot Chili Peppers. What an interesting trend! Naming bands after food. How's about the low-fat mayonnaise? How's about horseradish? And Jim Croce says, if I could put time in a bottle, you ever try putting time in a bottle? You put it in a bottle, it stinks. Bottle. And Led Zeppelin. They sing in their immortal classic, The Battle of Nevermore. That's a public service announcement. Some of their fans might forget to breathe air. But you are beginning to bore me. You make me nervous.
They're not polo.
Here's all the pieces. You can have them for a souvenir. How's that?
Fit in with all the other side.
You don't have to cheer. I'm not going to be executed yet. People who tell the truth are never very popular. So let's kill them. All three of them. What's the difference between Ross Perot and Mr. Potato Head? Mr. Potato Head is still popular! And what's the difference between Mr. Potato Head and Dan Quayle? What? Mr. Potato Head can spell Dan Quayle. President Bush was talking to Secretary Baker. Secretary Baker said, "You're 23 points behind in the polls. If this was a basketball game, they'd be turning off the set." And Bush said, "Well, what do you suppose I should do?" And Secretary Baker said, "I don't know, what would Ronald Reagan do?" And Bush said, "I don't have time to take a nap." If the election were held today, it would be November. Bill Clinton was in the 4-H club, and he had the prize-winning hog at the Arkansas State Fair. But they made him put it back in his pants. My girlfriend says, "You want a rim shot?" I'll do that. But there's no microphone. My girlfriend says I'm a lazy pig, and I say to her, "Oh, baby, what do you mean I'm Do me a favor, will you move that there monitor back to where it was, if you would be so kind. I know you were only trying to help me, but I don't want your help. I don't need your help because I am wrong and you are beginning to annoy me. We don't have much fun around my house on Saturday night. Mostly, we watch the dog drink out of the toilet. That's because I threw a bullion cube in there with his name on it. So there the dog was, drinking out of the toilet bowl, and the seat fell on his head. Now, if I told that darn dog of mine once, I told him 1,000 times, don't drink out of the toilet until after I'm finished pissing. Thank you. My dog is a good dog. He tastes like veal. I'm not trying to fatten you up for meat, earth flesh, but drink plenty of milk because it marbles your flesh with tasty fat. Once upon a time, there were 2 frogs swimming in a vat of milk. One of them was paddling and paddling to save his life, but he decided that he couldn't go on, and so he sank to the bottom. The other frog was a can-do frog, a never-say-die frog. This frog wasn't a quitter. He kept a-paddling and a-paddling and a-paddling, and do you know what happened the following morning? The farmer came out and found 2 dead frogs at the bottom of a vat of butter. So we had buttered frog's legs for dinner, and it was good. I like to leave a catnip mouse in the baby's crib. That's because I run my house to suit my cat, and I figure once Kitty has finished sucking the breath out of baby, he might come down with a snack attack. Hence, the catnip mouse. Some guy tried to sell me a car that had a big rust hole in the side of it, and I said, "Hey, that's a rust hole. That's $500 worth of damage." And he said, "No, it isn't. It's a cat door. I ought to charge you extra for that." Some people say the wrong hero is crazy. Meow. I would like to drop an atomic bomb on Antarctica. That's so all the little penguins there would go flying up into the air. Yes, for once in their lives, they would fly! Fly! Fly, I tell you! You always hear about rice-a-roni, the salmon. Thank you. No, go on. Don't be shy. Like I said, I'm wrong hero. I'm always in the wrong place at the wrong time. And everything I do is wrong. Now they got rice-a-roni. How come they don't have Pawtucket-a-roni? Pawtucket-a-roni, the co-op flavored treat. Pawtucket-a-roni. Walk down there and you'll get beat. You ever go to Newport, Rhode Island and smoke a Newport cigarette and pretend that it was Newport, Rhode Island that you were smoking? I'll do this when I get around to it. I live across the street from Radio Shack, and one day I got on my cordless phone and looked out the window, and I called Radio Shack and I said, "Do you have home security systems?" And they said, "Why, yes we do." And I said, "Some teenagers are shoplifting from your store." I hate Alcoholics Anonymous. Did you take my drink? I found out that my house was built on what was once an Indian burial ground. And sure enough, I found peyote buttons in the shape of bingo markers. So I knew that it had to be true. Marijuana causes low self-esteem, but you don't want to hear about that, I'll bet. I would rather than take mescaline, sit in a hotel room and watch a cheap, broken color television and vomit at my own pace. Thank you. I think amphetamines should be legalized, and I'm going to lobby 25 hours a day until they are. I think LSD should be legalized, and I'm going to lobby until it is. I think heroin. That's right, you only love me when I hurt myself. I can accept that. Say, pagans, tired of painting your bodies blue and worshiping oak trees? Come up to Pope White. Pope White, slimmer than the fat pontiffs Catholics worship. Say, Christians, do you eat locusts? Do locusts stain your teeth? Try this simple test. Breathe into the shroud of Turin. If it turns brown, you need no loc. The locust eater's tooth polish also comes in gall and wormwood flavor. Just remember this. You may make fun of God. You may say God is in the details. Get out already, get out. You're making me nervous, God. But God is all we got. I had Jesus pay me a visit. He stayed 7 days and 7 nights. On the first night, he gave away my coin collection. On the second night, he invited all the tax collectors, prostitutes, and lepers in the entire town over to my house, and he turned on my wet bathwater in the Manischewitz, and it took me a week to get the ring off. On the third night, he came in naked and bleeding and said he had lost his robe in a dice game. On the fourth night, he got on a plane. On the fifth night, he was back. He said the pilot was Pontius Pilate. I don't remember what he did on the sixth night, but on the seventh night, he left his face on all my towels. I guess you can call us the God couple. Is that ASCAP or BMI? Oh, it figures. Well, all right. No, not buy American. Steal Japanese. I'm afraid to meet Japanese people. I'm afraid that they will expect me to be excessively polite. Oh, horrible foreigner sound! I kissed your red ass! I sent a picture of money to the IRS with a little note on the back which said, "This is the money you would have gotten from me if you had treated me with one tiny smidgen of respect and delivery. But since you are incapable of doing so, you can go whistle for your money, you tin horn chiselers." And it worked. I wrote a book entitled, "This is My Life Story. Please don't read it. It's only a first draft." And I wrote my resume. This is my resume. It reads, "This is my resume. It's mine. Get your hands off of it, you filthy monkey." Hey, shut up down there already. Thank you. Good. Just remember, business is the religion of selfishness. I called the bank at 2 in the morning and said, "What are you doing with my money?" I walked into a bank and a dime fell out of my pocket and I said, "Whoa, little brother, get back in there. You're with the big boys now." Tried to cash my check at a Charlotte bank. A check written on their back. And the lady said, "I'm sorry, but we can't cash checks without a driver's license and a major credit card." And I said, "If I had a major credit card, I wouldn't have to cash this check now, would I?" I took an anteater onto a plane. We were flying over Manhattan, and it stuck its snout through the window and got sucked out. And all the passengers and the pilot all got sucked out of this hole. And this stupid fucking anteater left in the goddamn plane window because it was too stupid to be able to tell Manhattanites from ants. What is the difference anyway? You're not quiet enough for me down there. Thank you. Come up here. They're listening. I passed a man on the highway who had a bumper sticker on his car that said, "Ask me about my grandchildren." So I ran him off the road because my bumper sticker said, "It's not your grandchildren who do 55 in the passing lane, it's you I'm after." Because I'm the wrong hero. My friends call me Tyrant, the All-Powerful. My enemies call me, "Hey, stop swinging that thing in my head!" Just for a joke, I went up to my father and said, "Dad, you may have common sense, but you're not very smart." I said to him, "Dad, you brought me into the world. You don't owe me any favors, but that too will change when I get my gun." I started an organization called Save the Termites. but they ate my headquarters. They ate my secretary. I hate people who walk up to you in restaurants and say, "Hello, my name is Geraldo. Today's special, the braised rack of lamb, plus a complimentary visit to our salad bar." I say to them, "Hello, my name is Feed Me and Live." With a complimentary visit to hell, if you fail to take my advice. Do you know what babies are saying when they cry? Do you know what babies are really saying when they cry? Well, stop having fun! Look at my screaming face! Is what they're saying. I'm going to build a line of heartless shelters. That's where heartless people can go to hide from the homeless. This segment of The Wrong Hero is brought to you by the penis. Strong enough for a man, but made for a woman. And by recombinant DNA. We bring things to life. And by doorknob perfume. Your boyfriend will come off in your hand. Doorknob perfume. And by the Hitler Channel. Are you tired of watching arts and entertainment and not seeing enough of your hero, der Fuhrer, Adolf Hitler? Do they cut the good Hitler footage with lousy, crappy Stalin stuff? Do they show the same interminable footage of Hitler's victory jig over and over and over again? The Hitler Channel. Because Hitler lost. Didn't he? Didn't he? Didn't he? I think now I should talk about rock and roll. You know, I'm an offstage Elvis impersonator. I emulate Elvis's offstage life. Yes, I wear adult diapers. Yes, I allow a fat Dutchman to swindle me out of half of my fortune. Yes, I strangled my twin brother in the womb. Well, my bad. One for the money, two for the show. My daddy was in jail, but I didn't want anybody to know. That's wrong. Die. Was that ASCAP or BMI?
Who cares?
At this point, who cares? The Beatles. Well, I am an idoloclast. It's a fancy, hoity-toity, perfumey water on your arms way of saying that you like to break idols. John Lennon. He kicked his best friend, Stu Sutcliffe, in the head and gave him a brain tumor. Your hero. This is the way he treats his best friend. What would he do to his enemies? And Paul McCartney. I'd like to get Paul McCartney's great big bulgy sad black Walter King eyes and pop them with an enormous syringe. Oh, by the way, I got all of George Harrison's records over there. Do I hear $2? $2? Do I hear $1.50? Do I hear $1? 50 cents? 25 cents? 25. You're evil! And Ringo Starr. He's okay. Anybody want this?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Well, come over here. You don't want to work for it, huh? Just come over here. Give it to him. That's right. Bob Dylan.
Yes, Dylan.
He's mean. He's lazy. He taught the Beatles how to smoke marijuana. And those are his good qualities. Anybody want this? You will stay forever dead. Now, how's about the Rolling Stones? You know, Keith Richards made a mistake. He had his blood replaced with heroin. They drowned Brian Jones. The Rolling Stones drowned Brian Jones. The only one of the lot that had any talent, and they drowned him in a swimming pool. But if he had hung on to Mick Jagger's lips, he could have floated to safety. Hey, any Doors fans out there? I got news for you. Jim Morrison was a fat, lazy Navy brat who drank cheap red wine and wrote bad, bad poetry. Not only that, he died in the bathtub of a drug overdose. That was probably the first bath he ever took. It wasn't the drugs, it was the shock of cleanliness that did him in. And the Beach Boys. How many are there? 4, 5, 6? They're so fat you can't even tell. Brian Wilson was deaf in one ear and tone deaf in the other. They call themselves the Beach Boys. They couldn't surf. They couldn't even swim if Dennis Wilson is any indication. How's about the Who? You know, Pete Townsend wrote, "Let my love open the door." Too bad he didn't think about that at Riverfront Coliseum in Cincinnati. He could have sucked those teenagers up into his nose. They could have hit there for safety. I'm going to invite him to my wedding. Maybe he'll crush my in-laws. Anybody want this? Who would dare? Don't forget your only friend. Hey, I got this for $25. I call that a bargain. The best I ever had. And David Bowie. David Bowie. He slept with Mick Jagger. Even worse, he slept with Angela Bowie. Even worse, he slept with Brian Eno. Who hasn't this man slept with? Margaret Thatcher? Hitler? Okay, Iggy Pop, close. And Elton John. A bald, genetic mutated dwarf who plays the piano with his feet, and he's a millionaire. I will play chopsticks on your head with my hobnail boots. How come I'm not a millionaire? Get back, honky cat. Any Fleetwood Mac fans down there? Here. If country and western is a soap opera for drunks as the world spins, then Fleetwood Mac is a soap opera for potheads. Anybody want it? There's two of them. Nobody? Are you sure? Well. Target audience, anybody? Here they are. BWFH.
Hey, I want that record.
Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. But I call them BWFH. Stands for boring, whiny, fat hippies. Now, does anybody still want it?
Yeah, I want it.
All right. This time you got to come up here and get it. Don't worry. Even though my foot is at the level of your neck. And now here's 1/4 of boring white fat hippies. This is the anorectic Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young member here. Does anybody remember Harry Chapin? Well, here's Harry Chapin with the conscience leached out. Billy Joel. Does anybody want this? This one deserves a special slow death. Anthony works in the grocery store, saving his pennies for Sunday. She comes into the door until she says, Anthony! What else we got here? Even though you weigh 450 pounds, I wouldn't leave you in a ditch. I take the good times, I take the bad times. I love you because you're a son of a bitch. You do? Well, who could live without their immortal rendition of the Maple Leaf Rag?
I want it.
For that matter, I believe in Father Christmas. I believe in fairy bells. I believe in twinkle toes too. Emerson, Lake and Palmer can go plumb straight to hell. Now, who among you at one time was actually stupid enough to worship this braying, monomaniacal, patriotic, jingoistic, fired up with his own sense of self-importance, moron, Bruce Springsteen? Raise your hands. Isn't it funny how you could lay this down on your bed, either the front side or the back, and he'd still be sticking his boredom in your face? That says a lot about his estimation of your taste. Who wants it? Okay, what's on it? Oh, you don't think you care? Oh, okay, it's a great answer. Does anybody have a match? Because he has a song in here called I'm on Fire. Here, have it. Well, I'll tell you what, all of yous, get that guy after the show. Before I leave, I would like to share with you a few insights I have gathered over the course of 7 bleeding jokes over and over until I decided to put on a mask to hide my acne and to put on this hat, which only a crazy person would wear, and to put on this dress because I got into a pissing match with Zorro. To tell you just a few of these things I've gathered. First of all, everyone else always ruins it for a few assholes. Oh, but I can see a thing without my glasses. I can start drinking anytime I want. And you don't need drugs. Give them to me. Because I used drugs in college, but I only used them several thousand times. I smoked crack in college, but I didn't exhale. In college, my roommate was a fire eater, and he used to say, "Is it hot in here, or is it just me?" And I said, "It's not the heat, it's the humanity." Come on, you're allowed to go, "Whoa." I'll do it for you.
Lots of reverb on this one.
Now you know what you sound like when you do it. When I was in college, I learned history, but I learned history backwards. I learned the history of the United States back to 1491, the last good year for the Indian. And this is how it goes. 1992, Bill Clinton sucks wind through a saxophone. 1989, the Berlin Wall reassembles itself. 1991, U.S. jet fighters suck smart bombs out of Iraq and send all of the Kurdish tribes back home. 1984, the United States sucks mines out of Nicaragua's harbor. 1974, B-52s suck napalm out of Vietnam. Sirhan sucks a bullet out of RFK. Oswald sucks a bullet out of JFK. The United Nations suck peacekeeping troops out of Korea. The Allies suck bombs out of Germany and Japan. And in the 1930s, the government goes on a program of wrecking highways and roads. In the 1920s, bootleggers take raw grain alcohol and reassemble it back into its component parts. In the 19-teens, the Allies suck bombs out of Germany, Hungary, and Austria. In the 1900s, Teddy Roosevelt passes the Filthy Meat Act and destroys the nation's forests. But let's go further back. Pioneers and immigrants disassemble railroads, churches, and hotels. British troops suck smallpox out of army blankets and take them away from the Indians. Spanish conquistadors suck venereal disease out of naked Aboriginal barefoot savages. The Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria take all the gold and put it back where they found from and sail backwards, the quickest way they know how, back to Spain. Enacts history backwards, the wrong hero way. Now that you know wrong hero, you may understand why people say, "I don't like your smart aleck attitude." When people say to me, "I don't like your smart aleck attitude," I say to them, what attitude would you prefer? Supine, preferably kissing your ass? Well, I will change my attitude for you because I am infinitely malleable. I'm the wrong hero. I'm crafty and I'm subtle. And I exert an uncanny hypnotic influence on all of you. And I want you to forget I ever said that. But you are beginning to annoy me. You are beginning to bore me. She's an existentialist, so I gave her a disengagement ring. You know how I got engaged? I was down in Georgia, and I got arrested for driving after midnight with out-of-state plates. And in the morning, they served me breakfast, and the coffee looked like mud, and I said, "This coffee looks funny." And the jailer said, "That ain't coffee, boy, that's water." And I think they kind of favored the local boys because all the other prisoners had bacon and eggs, I had a pig's head with a ring through its nose. And when I saw that, I said, goody goody, now I can get engaged. I'm the wrong hero, and I come from an advanced planet so primitive that even cavemen can't understand it. I have a message for all you other performers out there. It's how I like to start the show. This goes out especially to you performers. It's sort of like a good luck message. It's called, hands off my gear! I'm the wrong hero, but I think it would be unfair to characterize me as a ticking time bomb just waiting to go on at any conceivable moment. Tick, tick. What's that ticking noise? No, that would be wrong. And I'm the wrong hero. My psychiatrist said that I had schizoid tendencies resulting from suppressed rage, and he asked me, how long have you felt this way? And I said to him, ever since I realized I could smash my fist into your smug, serene, fat, well-fed, bearded, clean-shaven face and escape the repercussions and be arrested. Sir, scumbag, do any of you have any earth diseases I should know about before I proceed with this show? I thought not. I went to Disneyland and I smoked opium with Goofy. Goofy was quite a philosopher. He said, the hard faces of the tourists who come in here grimly determined to have fun are indicative of a societal breakdown not only in the infrastructure, but in American infrastructure itself. I ate Orville Redenbacher's popcorn, and just to be fair, he ate mine. And now he has no teeth. Because the wrong hero popcorn doesn't pop. It implodes into impenetrable black hole density nuggets that'll make your teeth look like they've been rattled with buckshot. Quicker you can say, pop secret light. And now it's the habit troll. Stroke the troll's head and get that nicotine fix you crave with the habit troll. Also, the habit troll patch doll. For you ladies who think it's undignified to stroke the head of a drug-laden troll at high noon in public. I went to the employment office and I filled out the application in 4 different colors of ink. And now I got disability. Critics say the wrong hero has turned the very nature of comedy upside down and inside out. I have seen the future, and it is the eternally leering masked countenance of the evil wrong hero. Actually, I said that. The critics say the wrong hero has a bad attitude. They say, better buck up and fly right. I don't like that shitty attitude you're carrying around here, Buster. You may think you're king shit, but as far as we're concerned, you're just Joe Shit the Ride Man around here. And I say, I am sorry you don't like my attitude, Sahib. Nothing's more fun than a barrel of monkeys. Except two monkeys in a barrel doing what comes naturally. So the next time someone offers to show you something that's as fun as a barrel of monkeys, say, "Ixnay, Jack, I've been down that road." A man came into my bookshop full of first edition coloring books and asked for a rare children's book. So I put a match to it and said, "It was rare. Soon it will be completely well done." I went into a library and I dropped a book on the floor. And the librarian said, "Every time you drop a book on the floor, you take 10 years off the life of the book." So I dropped it 9 more times. And I said, "This here book's 100 years old. You ain't got yourself a How do you like that? That's better than an MLS any day, isn't it? If a tree falls in the forest and kills a ewe, would a ewe be there to hear it? If you were Italian and you said, "Mama, I'm going out to see a tree fall in the forest," Anthony, no, you get killed watching tree fall in the forest. When I bring it up for to be killed by tree fall in the forest. Oh, all right, Mom. I like my mommy. She gives me stuff. One Mother's Day, I walked up to my mom and said, "You know, Mom, if you didn't spend all day in a hot kitchen making food for me, which is literally dripping with saturated fat, I just might think you don't love me anymore." But Mama was on to me. The famed sociologist Eric Hofstadter has said that paranoid fantasies arise as delusional states by people who perceive a sudden loss of prestige and power. Stop staring at me! You filthy old fucker! Remember, a watchword to carry with you as a credo and a keychain for the 90s. Business is the religion of selfishness. But you can't love God unless God loves himself. You know, I have a God whistle that only he can hear. In fact, I'd like to share with you the sound of this here God whistle for you. Let's see now, how's it go? Why, it goes something a little like this. No, that's not it. That's God's burglar alarm. I can see you through my single but omnipresent eye. The things you are trying to steal are in fact immersed in my eye fluid. You are beginning to annoy me, pestiferous mortal ones. Only angels are allowed in there to clean out my eye. What's the difference between Ross Perot and Mr. Potato Head? Mr. Potato Head is still popular. And what's the difference between Dan Quayle and Mr. Potato Head? Mr. Potato Head can spell Dan Quayle. Copyright 1992, The Wrong Hero. A little boy came up to me and said, "Hello, my name is Robin." And I said, "Well, hello there, my name is Superman!" Needless to say,
I wasn't invited back to that little boy's first birthday party. I'd like to share with you something my father used to say. He used to say, "Son, if you are my son, money doesn't grow on trees." I could not stand his smug-floating, porcine countenance as he belted out these inevitable words of shame, nay, degradation. And so I said unto him, "I know that money doesn't grow on trees. It falls from your fat wallet! Pronto! Obey Spanish and live!" Accordingly, I had to go to work at an early age. Yeah, that was me. Boy with toy gun. Have soaker, will travel. And you know, the very habits I cultivated as a boy, I've carried with me to my young manhood. Yes, even today, the wrong hero feels as though he fails to get the respect and dignified treatment which is his birthright. But that too will change when I get my real gun. Hero has a strange problem. He doesn't want to live at her apartment, but he can't live in his apartment because her apartment, the snuggles bear in a shrine. An imitation silk stockings dripping from the shower stall rod. But my apartment, smoldering submachine guns, a 500-pound gorilla in a cage, a frozen sign of steel, nuclear missiles. That's the wrong hero's apartment. There's no toilet lid. There's no toilet seat. There's no toilet. Just a hole in the ground at the wrong hero's apartment. I'm doing a crime show for the Fox network. It's called The Smart Young Detective and the Stupid Old Cop. So watch for it. Sponsored by the Ghetto Gourmet. Preheat the oven to 2,000 degrees to get rid of all the rats and roaches in there. Pop that sucker in there for 5 seconds. With Ghetto Gourmet. Also by Police Auction. What do you bid for that fine Volvo that was confiscated in drug deal? Hi, I'm Mr. Private Citizen. I bid $400. I'm Mr. Policeman, and I bid $401. Sold to the man in blue for $401. The fun never stops on Police Auction. I was around during the Passion and Resurrection of Christ, so I got a good look firsthand at the Palestinian juvenile delinquents back in the year 33 who were saying, "Psst, the angel's gone, roll back the stone, roll back the stone, here comes Pilate's man, hurry." Of course, you know they're saying this in Aramaic, but I've given a loose translation. I'm the wrong hero, and I have an art gallery filled with paintings by 3-year-olds, captioned, "An artist could have done this." Because my neighborhood is mean. They have a topless lunch and a bottomless cup of coffee. And the library is full of mean children's books. Like Winnie the Shit. Fat stuff. The mean boa constrictor. And Sparky, the dog who ate chickens. and mean greeting cards, like, sorry you were admitted to the insane asylum, or am I? Heard about you getting busted for shoplifting Similac to support your drug habit. Hope you get an early parole. With a little smiley face on the end, but it only has one eye. Because it was Mean Town. This is Dislandia. Your country is half rich and half poor. Peasants ride around on rocket sleds and command thousands of dollars worth of expensive machinery. I saw a man driving down the road. He had a bumper sticker that said, "Ask me about my grandchildren." So I ran that man off the road because my bumper sticker said, "It's not your grandchildren who do 55 in the passing lane. It's you I'm after. Do you think I should answer a hypothetical question? Well, you just did. I was driving down the road and I saw a man with a bumper sticker that said, "Disarmament." So I ran him off the road. Because my bumper sticker said, "They will take my gun away from me when they pry my cold, dead fingers from around the trigger." The reason I'm like this is because I went to a Genesis concert and saw Phil Collins' 60-foot-tall head. What is more fearsome than Sandra Bernhard's lips? Phil Collins' 60-foot head. So I was driving down the road here in peace, and a policeman pulled me over. This didn't really happen, but it's all part of a ruse to sucker you into accepting the premise of this story. And he said, "Can I see your identification? What's your name?" And I said, "Albert Einstein." And he said, "What are you, a wise guy?" And I said, "Yeah. I'm the wrong hero, and if I have gladdened your soul, it is because I'm here to transmit a very important message. People who tell the truth are never very popular, so let's kill them. All three of them. And now I would like to report the results of the proceedings of the Wrong Hero Party, which nominated the Wrong Hero as their president. First, we have the great state of Alaska. The great state of Alaska, famous for rendered caribou fat and Eskimos who smoke lobelia, cast no votes for the Wrong Hero. And now, Alabama. Alabama, the great state of peaches, high school football, magnolia blossoms, lynchings, and sunstroke, casts no votes for the Wrong Hero. Well, Arizona is ceding its place to Arkansas. Let's see what Arkansas has to say. Mr. Chairman, the great state of Arkansas, with paper mills, feral hogs, segregated golf courses, and catfish farms, and restaurants with names like Tubby's Straw, casts no votes for the Wrong Hero. And now we hear from the great state of Arizona. Mr. Chairman, Arizona, the land of the London Bridge, and what we Arizonans are asking is, why was the London Bridge moved here other than to teach Indians not to pursue bingo and peyote, and instead to follow fish and chips and the works of William Shakespeare, casts no votes for the Wrong Hero. Next we have California.
California, the state of agribusiness, earthquakes, automobiles, avocados, illegal aliens, and pistachios, in that order of importance, casts none of its 248 votes for the wrong hero. The great state of Colorado, the land of snow, mountains, boulders, and people who couldn't make it in California, casts none of its votes for the wrong hero. The great state of Connecticut, the land of guns, Yankee rednecks, and Yale University, which is a monkey house in the middle of a snake pit, and if they were so smart, then how come they can't fix the city of New Haven and make it a decent place to live? Casts none of its votes for the wrong hero. Mr. DuPont, on the behalf of the state of Delaware, God's esophagus, casts none of its 8 votes for the wrong hero. Florida, land of Cuban fascists who aren't into fascismo, they're into machismo! The land of cocaine and $20 bills you can snort and get high off of. And most of all, the land of Disney World casts none of its 32 votes for the wrong hero. Georgia, the old homestead, state of boiled peanuts, clay eaters, snake handlers, and attractive slums, casts none of its votes for the wrong hero. The state of Hawaii, the land of luau's, welfare, pineapples, psychotic security guards, speed freaks, and an alphabet with only 12 letters, casts none of its votes for the wrong hero. Idaho, the great state of potatoes and Air Force bases, casts none of its votes for the wrong hero. Illinois, the state of voting graveyards, murderous clowns, and perpetual municipal corruption, casts none of its great votes for the wrong hero. Indiana, the land of corn, basketball, race car accidents, and the Ku Klux Klan, casts none of its votes for the wrong hero.
Do we have to go through every fucking state?
No, we're going to skip Kansas, Nebraska, Wyoming, New Mexico, South Dakota, and North Dakota. There, are you satisfied? All of these cede their place to Iowa. And Iowa, the land of potatoes, right-wingers, and zinc, casts none of its votes for the wrong hero. Kansas, the land of deserts, prairies, tornadoes, coyotes, and other tourist attractions, casts none of its votes for the wrong hero. Kentucky, land of 4 a.m. happy hours, dysfunction.
Can we do the United Nations next week?
Well, there's 150 of them, Chief. And I doubt you can count that high.
We start right at the beginning and just do that.
Well, that's nice. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll let you take my shiny rattle away from me on one condition. That you turn down that music and let me just finish what I got here, which ain't very much. I will skip many of these states, since you have totally destroyed what little continuity this piece had.
Your manager likes the music, but he thought it's a good idea.
Louisiana, the land of venereal disease, oil refineries, sausages, and outdoor puking, casts none of its votes for the wrong hero. Maine, the land of bears, lumber, and dipsomaniacal truck farmers with missing fingers, casts none of its votes for the wrong hero. Maryland, the land of crab mallets, Old Bay seasoning, and crackpots, casts none of its votes for the wrong hero. Massachusetts, the land of cranberry-flavored corn syrup and illiterate ward healers, casts none of its votes for the wrong hero. Minnesota, land of frostbite, ski messengers, and snowmen who open the elevator door for you, casts none of its votes for the wrong hero. Missouri, land of Harry Truman, country and western towns, pesticides, and St. Louis, where they are jealous of the people who are from Kansas City, casts none of its votes for the wrong hero. New Hampshire, land of mosquitoes, tax evaders, bankrupt condominium owners, and black leather wearing, kill crazy, heavy metal motorcycle outlaws, casts none of its votes for the wrong hero. New Mexico, the land of deserts and macrame, casts none of its votes for the wrong hero. New York City, land of hell, where all of your friends live. And Buffalo, land of blizzards, mosquitoes, and psychotics, where none of your friends live. And the great state of New York cast none of its votes for the wrong hero. Ohio, home of fat presidents, former astronauts, Standard Oil, Kent State, and people who are jealous of Pittsburgh, cast none of its votes for the wrong hero. Pennsylvania, land of decaying nuclear power plants, amphetamine-addled pensioners, unemployment lines, and obsolete steel mills, a country a lot like Russia, but with Boilermakers instead of vodka, casts none of its votes for the wrong hero. And since the wrong hero has received an anti-plurality of the votes, there remains tiny Rhode Island to put the wrong hero under the bottom in the balloting. And here it is, live from the convention. Rhode Island, the land of jellyfish, quahog, nepotism, and near perpetual drizzle 9 months a year, casts none of its votes, tiny and insignificant as they may be, for the wrong hero. And there you have it, the 1992 Wrong Hero Party Convention, where the wrong hero, quite true to form, received absolutely none of the valid votes. Of course, since the wrong hero did the entire masquerade in his own head and inflicted it on you for 10 minutes, it didn't really happen out there. In fact, you are beginning to bore me. What is this poison? You are beginning to make me
And conservative, your extra securities.
And let's say an any boy would be brought to become president. But why stop there? Any member of the human race can become president. No, any member of the animal kingdom can become president. And well, now I'm getting to that. And now hold your horses there. Some old fuzzy here is going to give you a little bit of advice, youngster. When the big boats get in the water, the little boats, well, they sink or swim. And that story I was about to tell you was that, imagine, if you will, well, just consider this fact, first of all, that there are 10 million billion ants in the world. And I sat down and figured this out. If you weighed all these ants, they probably weigh more than all the people in the world, right? So who's to say that some of these ants haven't gathered themselves together into the shape of a human being? What would the life story of such an individual, what would the highlights be? Well, I think that this ant would be wise enough to skip childhood altogether, you know, because it would be kind of hard to hide from the gym coach and the school nurse the fact that your penis was a writhing mass of ants. I think also the eye doctor would become upset when a stream of ants flowed up to the eye chart to get a real close look at what was going on. So, you know, the ant skips adolescence altogether, too. I mean, what would the pimples be? A pimply ridge of aphids, you know, on the face of the ant-man? So this ant would probably skip, and this ant would be very observant because ants are very intelligent. If you got a whole line of ants together, it would almost be like, you know, an electrical link in a circuit, and they'd have super intelligence, and they sort of look down on us poor, weak, miserable human beings. And so they'd skip adolescence altogether, and then they'd start reading the Sunday New York Times, you know, chewing big holes in the entertainment section, just for laughs. And they would say, well, it seems that all the people on this planet who have the power are the politicians. So the Ant-Man would decide to become a politician. And I think the Ant-Man would probably be very good at gathering a consensus opinion, you know, being a massive ant. So what the Ant-Man would do, he would plot to find himself a wife. And you know, any wife would be too stupid for this man of ants, but he'd have to settle for, you know, somebody who wouldn't ask too many questions about, you know, the prominently raised ridges on its back when it got excited, you know. So this Ant-Man would go out swimming, say, in Narragansett or something, and the Ant-Man's wife would become concerned. You're going out too far. You're going out too far. You're going out too far! Come back, for God's sakes, come back! You're gonna drown! Foolish human. Since I'm made of ants, I can float. And of course, the Ant-Man's favorite reading matter would be Leningen versus the Ants. But the ending would be a real letdown. Leningen versus the Ants is about how this arrogant plantation owner down in Brazil decides, they don't want to let fire ants ruin my business. No, sir, I'm going to get flaming mugs full of gasoline. But the ants effortlessly stymied his every maneuver. And finally, he himself, a writhing mass of ants, had to run to this water station and turn all the water on and get rid of the ants, finally flushing them all out. He was but a remnant of his former self, but he defeated the elemental power of the ants. But I really sidetracked, and I'm sorry. What I'm thinking is that someday this man of ants, being so intelligent, would get in the cushiest possible political spot, that of vice president. And you know, there'd be some controversy initially, just like the Nixon-Eisenhower thing, you know, but finally the president, after getting hordes of postcards from disgruntled ants who demanded representation, the president would get postcards saying, put the Ant-Man back on the ticket, except nobody would know he was the Ant-Man. So, except the ants who would send this letter. So anyway, the Ant-Man would get off the plane, and the president would reach over and shake his hand and say, you're my boy. And then at that moment, just think, thought. There's too many words. The Ant-Man steps off the plane. This is the biggest day of his life. He's poised to take over the second slot in the world's greatest superpower. But he's nervous! Christendom and stuff. And as he goes to shake the hand of the president, his lifelong discipline and reserve, in that single moment, break down, and the mass of ants disintegrates, it deteriorates, and the president finds that he's shaking hands with a teeming horde of ants. They're crawling all over his hand, they're crawling up his shirt, the Secret Service is firing rounds in the air, just like Iraqis celebrating the premature end of the Iraqi war. And you know what they do to punish the man of ants? Do you know what they do to punish the man of ants?
What?
They put him in a prison full of termites. My name is Francis DiMenno. Thank you all very much.
He turned into a girl. Are we ready?
Yeah, this first one is, well, I gotta hit the pause on the button.
Go hit the pause on the button.
Pause on the button. We're gonna hit the pause on the button. Use the beer,
Why don't you grab a beer?
all right.
You had to go hit the pause on the
We're
button.
gonna hit the pause on the button.
Hi, Lona. Had a couple of beers, huh?
Ah, what was it?
domain.
Alright!
That's Slice's car.
What's the next song?
What?
Who? Oh, yeah. Okay, these are all new songs except for that one there. What? This song is called Walking Sideways Down the Stairs. Can I have a little more of this, please? It's like Paul Harvey. Wait a minute.
You're still nervous.
Yeah, that guy made me nervous.
Count the days. Showing themselves.
Oh, chill out. All right.
The regulars are restless and the savages are loose. The bars are bourbon and all the bets are off. The cabbies look like vultures and descend upon their fares. Scooping up the drunkards walking sideways.